And now, Suspense. Your host is Autolite, world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment, producer of over 400 products for cars, trucks, tractors, airplanes, and boats in 28 plants from coast to coast. Autolite makes a complete line of ignition-engineered standard and resistor-type spark plugs and dependable Autolite stay-full batteries. Also generators, starting motors, voltage regulators, wire and battery cable, instruments and gauges, electric windshield wipers, fuel pumps, batteries, spark plugs, ignition systems, bullseye seal beam headlights, radiator grills and ornaments, bumpers and hubcaps, and many more. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite. And now, Autolite and its 96,000 dealers everywhere present Suspense.
Mr. Court, would you please turn off the radio?
Oh, yes, of course. Is she all right, Dr. Bailey?
Well, there's nothing to worry about. At least, not now.
You see, George, I told you it was silly to call the doctor.
I didn't want to take a chance. I wanted to be sure that you were all right. You see, Dr. Bailey, Elaine was very upset during the last few days.
Yes, what about?
Well, she thinks that she's seen a man outside lurking around, watching our window.
George, I did see him. I saw him yesterday, and I saw him again last night.
Darling, I looked. There was no one there.
Well, maybe it was someone passing by.
Well, no one believed me. I saw him very clearly. He was a large, evil-looking man. He kept staring up at the window. He was standing right under the street lamp. George?
Now, what is it?
George, there he is.
Well, there's no one there. See for yourself.
There. I swear it.
Here, Mrs. Court. You take one of these. Now, just one. No more. It'll ease your nerves and make you sleep.
Oh, Dr. Bailey, you're treating me just like a child.
I've known you since you were a child. Now, you be good and do exactly as I tell you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Oh, George. She must have no excitement. Another heart attack like she had last month might be fatal. I'll be at the hospital all day, in case you need me.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Darling, you give me the pills, and I'll get some water for you.
Oh, George, no.
Now, the doctor said that
I
you're sure...
don't need a sleeping
Now,
pill.
listen, darling. You know that I love you, don't you?
Oh, yes, George.
And you know how I'd feel if anything happened to you, don't you? Well, now, listen here. You've got to get rid of this fear. It's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's foolish. Now listen, darling. We live on a busy street. Two of our friends live right here in the same building. Don't you see how foolish it is, darling? The whole thing.
But, George... Of course, you're right.
Of course I am. Now, you forget about the whole thing. Oh, gee. Oh, it's late. I've got to get down to the office.
George, I know you think I'm being silly, but maybe if I could just call one of the neighbors, have them sit with me for a while.
Well, why not? That's a good idea. Visit with one of them for a while. Who are you going to call?
Marge Leonard. Oh, no. She was taking the kids to school today. I'll try Daddy Grayson.
She's out too.
Yes.
Well,
No answer.
I've got to hurry.
Hello? Oh, yes. Please.
Oh, me. Hello?
Mr. Court, Miss Sanford down at the office. Your 10 o'clock appointment is getting impatient.
Well, tell him I'm on my way, Miss Sanford.
George, I think I'll just ride into town with you, and I'll come back in a cab.
All right, on one condition.
What?
That you come straight home, take one of those pills, and get some rest. Good girl.
Oh, the morning paper. Never gave you a chance to read it.
Come along, darling.
Good afternoon. I've been waiting for you. Where have you been?
Who are you?
Who am I? Oh, my name might be James Randolph or Roger Stewart
Who
or
are you?
even George Court. But then, of course, it couldn't be George Court because that's your husband and you'd recognize it immediately, wouldn't you? You see, a name
What are you
isn't
doing
really
here?
important. I'm just eating cheese, that's all. Won't you have some? It's Belperret. Very charming, too. Where do you buy it? Now you ask me the usual questions. Who are you? What are you doing here, and what do you want?
Listen, this is a joke. I'd like...
No, it's not joke. It's not a joke, I assure you. Am I frightening you? I intended to frighten you just a little. However, it really doesn't matter. Won't you have some cheese? No, I didn't realize that I was so hungry.
You're hungry. Well, let me call. I want some food. There's not much in the house. Operator. Operator.
My dear Miss Court,
Hello.
there's no sense in doing that. You see, I've cut the wires from the outside.
Oh, I know who you are. You're the man I've seen watching my apartment by the window. You've been doing it for 3 days. Why?
I just wanted to study your habits, but
Why?
I wanted to get in here.
Look, if you want to steal something, go ahead, steal it. Get it over with. I won't stop you.
You couldn't stop me in any case, my dear Mrs. Court. In any event, rather, not only that, that's not the reason that I'm here.
But what do you want here?
Here, girl, it's impossible if you... Here. Just a minute. Are you expecting someone? Don't speak. Don't speak. Just nod your head. You're expecting a guest. Does she know you're here? Very well. And perhaps you'd better let her in, but I warn you, don't play any tricks. I mean what I say.
Good morning, miss. I represent the Better Products Company. I've been asked to come here with this little gift for you. Now, the gift is absolutely free. No obligation whatsoever. It's yours outright. Say, don't I know you? Oh, no. Lucille Bell. That's it. You look so much like her that I thought I knew you for a moment. May I come in? Thanks a lot. Take my hat, please. Oh, the man of the house. I didn't expect to see you here,
We
sir.
don't want anything, darling.
Now, if you'll just let me show you some of these wonderful little gadgets, sir. Now, if you'll just hold this order pad for me a moment. Now, this gift is absolutely free, outright, no obligation to you whatsoever. Now, first. There. Now, first we have this little cuticle pusher. See? Then we have these plastic caps, covers. And then third, this razor-sharp, hand-carved letter opener. Now, just take your choice, absolutely free, no obligation to you.
Take that one.
I said we didn't want anything, darling.
But, dear, with help so hard to get these days.
Oh, the little lady is absolutely right, sir. Help so hard to get these days. Any little gadget that she can get her hands on, well, it'll just save 10 years of her youth and beauty. Not that she lacks any now.
I'd like to order something.
Darling, please don't be so stubborn. I said we didn't want any.
Well, it's not hard to see who's the boss in this house.
Come in. Here. Give it to me. I told you we didn't want anything.
Very well, sir.
How dare you? You realize that you nearly got that young man killed and yourself also? You don't seem to quite realize that I'm serious, do you? I'd like some coffee. Go ahead and make me some immediately. Three hours.
3 hours?
Yes, just 3 hours. 6 o'clock is the hour, isn't it?
For what?
When he comes home.
Who?
Your husband.
What do you want with George?
George? Why, I'm going to kill him.
And now, the second act of The Tip, starring Stanley Ridges and Felicia Montalegre.
So George will be home about 6 o'clock, eh? 3 long hours.
Why do you want to kill my husband? Why did you come here to kill George?
Oh, I have dozens of excellent reasons. All of them perfectly legitimate, too. For instance, perhaps he ruined me in business.
Oh, but George isn't in business. He's a lawyer.
Right, of course I'd forgotten that. He is, isn't he? Well, then perhaps he sent me to jail for a crime that I didn't commit. Or perhaps he even stole my rightful inheritance.
None of these reasons are true.
I told you that I had dozens of reasons. Each and every one of them excellent and legitimate. Perhaps we can while away the afternoon like this. You asking me why I hate George sufficiently to kill him and me telling you reasons.
Look, I don't know who you are or what you have against George. But if it's money you want, I'll give it to you. Well, I have money of my own.
I'm sorry.
Please, I'll give you anything you want. How much do you want?
My dear Mrs. Court, I'm not the least interested in your money.
But please, tell me what you want. Please listen to me.
Mrs. Court, please, Mrs. Court! You mustn't get excited like this, you know. It's bad for your heart. You might get another attack.
You know about that?
Why, of course. Have you forgotten I'm a friend of your husband's? Now, please, just relax and be patient.
Look, if you leave now, I won't tell anyone you've been here. I promise I won't tell the police.
I don't hear a word you say, Mrs. Court.
Do you think you're going to get away with this? You won't kill George. I know you won't.
Operator, haven't you been able to get through to my home yet?
I'm sorry, sir. That phone is still out of order.
But I've been trying to reach my wife for an hour.
I'm sorry, sir. We've notified maintenance. I'll call you as soon as we have the connection.
Oh, all right. Oh, no, they haven't made the connection yet. Frankly, I'm worried.
Why?
I don't know. I have a feeling that something's wrong. Seems funny that my phone should have gone out of order so suddenly like this. My wife wasn't feeling very well this morning.
I wouldn't worry about it, sir. Since that windstorm the day before yesterday, the service hasn't been very good.
Yes, well, maybe you're right. Well, let's get on with these briefs.
Please listen to me. You can't go through with this nightmare. But isn't there anything I can do or say?
Yes, there's something that you can do. You can go and get me some more coffee.
I won't do anything of the sort.
You won't? My dear Mrs. Court, you're being a very stupid and stubborn woman. Have you forgotten that I'm a guest in your house? Perhaps I should remind you of your manners.
Stop, hear me.
Why, you little... Oh, you did nick me, didn't you, huh? Where's the Band-Aid?
In the kitchen.
Well, go and get it. Here. Fix that. It's your own, too. What's that?
The delivery boy.
Oh, yeah?
I ordered some groceries in the morning. They said they would deliver them by this time.
I see.
He knows I'm in. I told him I'd be in all day.
Uh-huh.
He might think it's strange if I don't open the door.
Very well. Perhaps you'd better let him in.
But what will I say to him? How will I explain you?
I'll rely on your ingenuity to take care of that, Mrs. Court. Because you're both in danger. So for both of your sakes, I rely on you. Go ahead.
Afternoon, Mrs. Court.
Hello, Michael.
I'm sorry we're so late, but we had a lot of rush orders this afternoon.
Michael, wait.
Well, don't you want me to take it into the kitchen for you?
Yes, please, Michael. Michael, this is Dr. Bailey.
Dr. Bailey.
Well, good evening, son. Well, what's the matter? The cat got your tongue. I said good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, don't mind Michael, Doctor. He's very shy. Michael, tell your father I was asking for him.
Yeah. Sure. I sure will, Mrs. Court. Good night.
Good night, Michael.
Well, I must congratulate you, Mrs. Court, on your ingenuity in introducing me as the doctor. I had always thought of you as a dull and stupid woman, but now... Let it ring! You must pick the wires. Let it ring, I said. Let it ring. Now go and get me that coffee that I ordered you. Operator. 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 Well, what seems to be the trouble?
I'm sorry, sir. We've resumed the connection, but your number doesn't answer.
Oh, I see.
Did you get your wife, Mr. Court?
Oh, no. The phone's fixed, but she doesn't answer. Must be something wrong. Miss Anford? I'm going to go home. If anybody should call me, I'll be at my house from 5:30 on.
What's keeping you so long?
Nothing.
joining me. Oh, that's pleasant. Now you are being social.
Cream?
No, I'll take it black, please.
Sugar? Oh.
Yes, sugar.
How many lumps?
2, please.
Thank you.
You know, some men like women and some like whiskey, but I prefer coffee. Get back to your room. Get back. You. Oh. What's the matter, my dear? Just a little too much excitement?
Hello, darling. Yes, she's dead. It worked just the way we planned.
Well, it took her long enough. I was pretty rough with her. As a matter of fact, for a time, I thought it wasn't going to work.
I don't want to hear about it. Here you are.
Naturally, you don't want to hear about it.
You'll get the rest when her will has been probated.
All right. There's the keys to your apartment.
We got to get our story straight.
Yeah?
You're an old friend.
Yeah.
We were both here when it happened. Did anybody see you come in?
Anybody see me come in? Well, I was like Grand Central Station. First a traveling salesman, then a delivery boy. Who's that?
Oh, why, good evening, George. You're home early. Anything happen?
Well, Dr. Bailey, I've just been trying to reach you by telephone. Elaine was lying there on the floor.
George, there's something funny here. When that delivery boy was here, your wife introduced me as Dr. Bailey.
She's dead. How long have you both been here?
Why?
Son. Is this the man?
Yes, Dad, that's him. She called him by your name. I thought that was kind of funny. Maybe she was in trouble, so I called you. She seemed so frightened.
A heart attack can be caused by fright. What were you doing here this afternoon?
Yes, what were you doing all afternoon?
What was I?
Why, you double. Why, he's in this just as deeply as I am. As a matter of fact, it was the entire idea. Get on, go on, stand. Don't move, Doctor. Not even an inch. Well, it'll be bad for the boat. Just hold it perfectly still. Right there.
Oh, wait, George. He won't go far. The police are waiting. Well, George, you were lucky. But I think you had better go with the police.
This is Rex Marshall speaking for Autolite, and in just a moment I'll tell you about our story and our star for Suspense next week. But before I do, I'd like to show you a very short story about a man in a jam. Oh, yes, he's really in it. In fact, he's the cause of it. Well, the moral of the story is don't let it happen to you. And you know, one good way to keep it from happening is to treat your car or truck to a real #1 motor tune-up at your neighborhood service station, car dealer, garage, or repair shop. You know, an ounce of prevention now will keep your car running right and may save you troublesome delays, plus the possibility of expensive repairs later on. So ask your repairman to test and service the electrical system of your car, including the distributor, the coil, the generator and regulator, starting motor, battery, spark plugs, and wiring. And if your car needs replacement parts, ask for and insist on original factory parts exactly like those that were installed by the manufacturer. You know, all Autolite parts are original factory parts, engineered to fit together perfectly, work together perfectly, because they're a perfect team. So don't accept electrical parts supposed to be as good. Ask for and insist on Autolite original factory parts. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite. Next week, our suspense story will be Death in the River, starring Francis Sullivan. Also, be sure to listen to Suspense each Thursday night on your radio. This is CBS. Celebrate the holiday season with the shows on the Columbia Broadcasting System.